Jesus is always speaking in what feel like paradoxes or riddles. If you want to be first, you got to be last. Hey, you want to live, you got to die. If you want to be the greatest, you have to become the servant to all. In this passage from Mark chapter 9, Jesus gives us this paradoxical, seemingly counterintuitive challenge, invitation, command. And it's not just an invitation, it's a command. If you want to be the greatest, you have to serve. You have to become like a child. You have to become like one of these. But if you want to be the greatest, it doesn't start with others serving you. It begins with how you serve others. I remember when I was 16, I got a job bussing tables at this restaurant. And I learned so much about people and human nature and the way that they treated me as this lowly busser, this lowly servant, just around to throw out some chips and salsa, some water, clear some tables. I saw the greatest of humanity. I saw people who were patient and who were loving, always had a nice, kind word of affirmation or a generous gratuity. And then I saw the other 95% of the population who treated me like I had absolutely no dignity, like I had no purpose in life, like I just existed to make their life easier. And I learned a lot about the purity of service, the purity of sacrifice. Do you do it just for a paycheck? Do you do it just to get words of affirmation? Or do you serve just as a way of glorifying God with your body, with all of your skills? I look back now, I think I'm going to make my own kids, I'm going to force them to work in food service for at least a short amount of time in each of their lives, because you learn so much about people, but you also learn a lot about the dignity of service. This earth we live in, this culture we live in, really frowns on that servant heart, that servant attitude. Sure, Mother Teresa gets a lot of lauds and that kind of a thing if you get to that level of servant, but just the everyday service, how often do you see parents being applauded just for their sacrifice and their service? How often do you see people in society really being applauded for giving up this to go and serve over here? It's not very often. We have to remember what heaven applauds, earth does not understand. What earth applauds, heaven shakes their head at. What heaven applauds, earth crucifies. Let's not forget what happens on Good Friday. How are you and how am I doing in the way we serve others? Do you wake up every day with that sense of mission? I'm here to sacrifice for the other. I'm here to serve the other. That is what Christ is calling us to today, commanding us of today, inviting us to in this passage. When you wake up, look at your life, your 5-foot circle of influence. Look at those relationships in your home, and then extend it out to school, workplace, parish, diocese. How do you serve? Do you wake up with that sense of mission? How can I use all the gifts and talents and skills God's given me to make it about the other? Because that's truly special. That's discipleship. That's apostolic. That's what Christ is talking about. If we can look around the world and think less of ourselves and think more about how we can use the gifts God's given us to serve the other, that is what heaven applauds.